Good morning, everyone. I am Deepak Singh Chauhan. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Information Technology, Acropolis Institute of Technology and Research, Indore. In previous part, we have seen in previous part of introduction to C and C++, we have seen the basics of C and C++ like data types and the operators. In this uh, video, we will see some advanced topic or some more topic about introduction to C and C++. That is the conditional statements, looping statements, functions, and arrays. So let's start this video. So starting with the conditional statement that are called decision making statements. These are used to control the flow of the execution of your program. So the very first statement is the if statement, that is used to check a condition, and if that condition is true, then a particular block of code is executed, otherwise it will not be executed. The next variation of this statement is if else. Okay. So if the condition is true, then the first block or the condition under the if is executed. Otherwise, if the condition is false, then the else block will be executed. There is a next variation of this if condition, that is if else if ladder. So whenever we want to continue multiple or we want to check for multiple conditions, we can use this if else if ladder. So in this, if at a one time there is only one condition is true or the or false. So if condition is true, then if block is executed. If else if block, if condition is true, then else if block is executed, or if all the condition is false, then at the end else block will be executed. There is nested if else. We can have if else condition within a if or else block. So whenever we want to check that a first condition is true, then second condition is true, or third condition is true, then we can use this nested if else. There is a variation of this if else if later, that is called switch statement. So whenever where we want to check multiple condition and this condition are large in numbers, so if else if later become very tedious, so we can use switch conditions in place of this if else if later. So it has two parts, switch and case. So in switch block we have an expression. So according to this expression, corresponding case will be executed. And at the end of this case, we have a default that if any of the case will not be matched, then default block will be executed. And at the end, we have to use at the end of each case, we have to use the break. Then looping statement, whenever we want to loop through a multiple state through some statements, or we want to repeat multiple some statements multiple times, then we can use this looping statement. So looping statements can be of two types, that are entry control loop or exit control loops. So entry control loops are used for the checking condition at the entry point, and exit condition loop are used to check the condition at the exit point. So for loop and while loop are the entry control loops. They are much similar, but a very basic difference between for loop and the while loop is that for loop is used whenever we have a particular number of times. Whenever we have that numbers key how many times we have to repeat the statements. But if we don't know in advance that whenever how many number of times we have to check the condition, or we have to repeat the statements, then we can use while loop. So these are the basic syntax of for loop and while loop that are given in slides. Okay. Then we have a while loop, do while loop, that is called a exit control loop. Okay, so do while loop is used whenever we have to execute some block of code at least one time. Okay, that's why it is called exit control loop. So condition, and then we have a code, then we have increment or decrement, then after that we are having we have to check the condition. Okay, so the code within do will be executed at least once. So this is do while loop. Then we have jumping or branching statements. So these are three statements: break, continue, and the go to statement. So break statement is used to break the execution of a particular loop or a block at a particular condition. Whenever there is if condition is meet, so it will break, or it will goes out of that block immediately. Then continue statement, the difference between the continue and the break statement is that it skips the current iteration and goes to the next. Okay, while the break statement breaks the entire block. Okay, entire execution of entire block. Continue statement will only break the current iteration and goes to the next block. Go to statement, whenever we want to jump to a label, okay, then we can use this go to statement. Whenever sometimes we want to transfer the control to a next label, so we can use, or we can have labels in our programs, and we can use this go to statement to uh, jump to that labels. Then we have return also. So these are used to return any value within the function. Generally we can use this in the inside of a main function. Then function is a block of code that performs a specific task. Function help in modular programming that allows to reuse the code. Okay, so there are two types of function, that are predefined functions and user defined functions. Predefined functions are those that are already defined in the standard libraries of C and C++, that is printf, scanf, square, strlen. And user defined functions are those functions that are created by the user to perform a specific task. So this is a basic syntax. We have return type, then function name, and then parameter list, and then body of the function, that is called the definition of the function. So in this definition, we have to write the code that we want to for the task that we want to perform with this that function. This is a simple program. Here we have user add function that is used to add two numbers. Okay, so we have given the definition of that function. Then we are calling that function inside the main. Then arrays. So arrays are what? This is a collection of elements of the same data types. Whenever we are having multiple data types of same types, so instead of declaring these data types multiple times, we can use arrays. Okay. So array allow us to store multiple values in a single variable so that we can access them properly. Declaration of array. So we have to define the data type of the array, then array name and the size. For accessing array, we can use the index numbers that are always start from 0 to access the any element of the array. This is an example we have created, that in that we have created a array of numbers with 5 elements that are initialized with 1 2 3 4 and 5 values. Okay, so print that values, we can use a for loop, and with the index number we can print that values. So that's all from this video. In this video we have seen the basics of C and C++, that is the control statements. Then we have seen the looping statements. Then we have seen the jumping statements also, in which we have seen the continue, break, and the go to statements. Then we have seen about the functions, what are the functions, how we can use them with the help of examples. And then at the end we have seen the arrays, that is 1D array. Then we have seen an example of the array also. Okay, so thank you all for this video.